What is up, everybody? Gary Simon here. So yes, you don't see me behind the camera as normal, or as usual rather, because I'm revamping my room and stuff is just a mess. Anyhow, so today's video I thought it'd be interesting. I've done a few of these in the past already, where we basically just take and use as many tools and resources as possible to help us design a UI. So the first tool is going to be basically coming up with a random app idea generator of sorts. And then the next one's going to be using a random font pairing from a nice resource. I'll try to remember to link these in the YouTube description. I also use AI to generate an image that might be relevant. And so yeah, this is the actual project that we're gonna come up. And if you're interested in seeing how I kind of come up with this sort of design, definitely keep watching, make sure to subscribe, and let's get started. Now, chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably want to be a better designer. And if that's the case, how much do you really want it? Because at DesignCourse.com, I've created a UI UX course that will help you go from designing layouts that I might rate a 4 or 5 up to 8 and beyond. But more important than that, as a better designer, this means that you can land higher paying clients and jobs. This course includes over 16 hours of video, 40 interactive UI design tests, and even mentorship where I personally take a look at your work that you submit, I review it, and many times I also revise it, providing you with great feedback to help you become a better designer. Now, for this video, I want you to use the coupon code UI2022, and that will give you 22% off at checkout. All right, so let's get started here with the actual app idea itself. So the app idea, as mentioned, 60 random app ideas. I'm just gonna choose a random one so I don't have any biases, so to speak. So minimum one, maximum is gonna be 61. I think there's 61. Let's hit generate. It is gonna be number 56. Let's control F to 56. And it's apps that scan terms and conditions. Not many software. I don't think it was an English native speaking person who wrote this. Let's get back here. Not many software apps and products require a user to read a long document detailing terms and conditions. Many users simply skip this part and go ahead to sign the agreement. Sometimes there are suspicious or unfair terms added, blah, blah, blah. An app that can scan terms and conditions will alert and protect the user of any dubious terms and conditions. That's actually a pretty cool idea. That's what we're gonna do. Awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, now that we have the app idea, we are going to use the layout generator, all right? So I've covered this probably 3 or 4 times on the channel already, but it's basically at a CodePen URL. I'll try to remember to link it in the YouTube description here. And what it allows you to do, you can see there's a ton of different just blocks here, is to just generate kind of like a scaffolding, so to speak, of a UI layout. So I think what we'll do, thinking about this, we'll just have a kind of a typical sort of section where we have like a hero section. Let me mute this phone. And we'll also have, I'm not sure if we'll deal with the navigation, but we just kind of want to showcase like a feature, maybe with 3 other features or 2 other features or something like that. So we can make it more interesting by choosing a number of columns, like really boosting that up and boosting a lot of cards as well. And we can kind of just come out here and randomly choose a section here that will serve as like scaffolding, so to speak, of our layout. So I don't want to spend too much time here. So I think what I'll do is probably just choose a section here and then just work with it. Let me go back up. Let's choose like right here. So what I'm going to do is just copy all this. All right, so that's my screenshot tool. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to go to Figma. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to use a desktop of this right here. And I'm going to paste this in and scale it down. We'll probably scale it down roughly, right around here for now, I think would be good. Okay, and then what I'll do is we can choose to make this maybe like 10% opacity. Ugh, that's kind of ugly. Maybe 30%. And this will give us just a general idea of what we should do. Actually, what we could do is just kind of outline it with our own real quickly. So these aren't necessarily going to be, I'm not necessarily going to use all of these, but I'll try to just recreate real quickly this scaffolding as I mentioned. Like I said, we may or may not use some of these, entirely up to us. So it's an app that scans terms and conditions. So let's come up with a quick, well, you know what? We don't necessarily have to have a navigation up top. This doesn't even necessarily have to be a hero section. It just could be a random section in the middle of like a design or something, or layout or something like that, or landing page. So with that said, let's get a title up or something. So let's just get we're gonna say, read, let's do read T and C. Of course, I'm going to make this much larger. Read T and C. No. Read the terms in Cliff Note fashion. Something like that. All right. So for the font, for now, let's just boost this up to like 45 or 46 or something. And let's get a font going here. I'm also, like I mentioned, going to use a tool for that. So let's go back here. We have a font pair .co. So what do we want to use? You know what? Let's gamify this as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different choices for font categories. Let's use a random generator, 1 through 6. We're going to use 5. So that means display. Okay. So we'll do that. And let's see here. Let's take a look at which one we might want to use. I kind of like Anton. Let's open that up. Play fair display, of course. That's always a good choice to go with for a serif. All right, so I'm at fontpair.co/all. There's a ton of font pairs. So let's gamify this as well. I'll just go like 1 through 40, I think, for a random generator, and we're just going to let it choose for us, and we're stuck with whatever we get stuck with. So number 19. So that means we go here. We'll just kind of count it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right there. So something Garamond and Prosa Libra. All right. So let's see what this is. All right. Let's see if we have this inside of Figma. Let's see here. Here's Garamond itself. What was it called? Let me go back. Core, C-O-R-M. Yeah, there it is. They have, okay, good. They have a bunch of different font weights. I'll be honest, I don't really like it that much, but you know what? We're going to stick with it anyhow. Let's see the next one. So if we have a subheadline, the other one was, going back here, Prosa. All right, so let's bring this back. There it is. All right, so regular and make it a lot smaller. So, you know, something like 24. All right. Can't go any bolder than that. Really want to increase what's called a visual hierarchy between these two. You don't want something like this type of situation. There's not a ton of difference between this type and this type, even though it is smaller and they're different fonts. You really want to boost that up much more. So if we do like 60, you know, we can do, let's not do that. Yeah, something like that should work just fine. All right, and then we'll have no one reads lengthy terms and conditions. But sometimes they include dubious, is that what they said? Dubious? Dubious stipulations that you should know about. All right, something like that. I'm gonna go even smaller. We're gonna increase that leading or the line height. All right. All right, we're gonna stick with this for now. By the way, we wanna take all this stuff, we're gonna group it and make sure it's centered. All right, there we go. Now, of course, this isn't gonna be visible. We're just kinda using it as a general template. Okay, we should also consider, let's start considering imagery of some sort. So, terms and conditions, you know, what would be appropriate imagery for something like that? It's very legal. That doesn't really give us much to work with. You know, I think maybe at this point I'm going to use Midjourney AI, because I think that's one of the things I wanted to integrate here. Some sort of artwork that's generated that has something to do with Cliff Notes and terms and conditions. I know, very strange. Let's see what we can come up with though. All right, so here we are. I'm going to say imagine. Let's do monster reading a document. Cartoon, 4K. Let's give it a shot. Zero clue how this is going to turn out. All right, I actually like this one over here, the lower left corner. So let's get the upscale version of number 3. And there it is. I actually kind of like this. Awesome. Okay, so now what I'll do is copy the image. Actually, no, I'll just kind of drag it off to my monitor. It's in PNG format, which works well. And now we have to think about how we want to integrate this. We have options. Okay. We have to make sure that our text contrasts well. Now I'm going to hide this here, this whole group. So let's hide that, and let's get in a column here, and we will give it a fill of image, and I'll drag that in. Wait, that's supposed to work. What am I doing here? Drag that sucker in right there. Okay, look at that. That is so freaking cool. We could just, you have a real simple layout and just have this, and maybe like a call to action button of some sort, and just have this on the right. But we do want to make something that's a little bit more interesting. And kind of at least will follow that scaffolding, at least to a certain degree. If we bring it back, and we bring this back, we can try to formulate something that will make sense with this image here. And again, we don't have to put it here. We could, let's see, we could, you know, kind of make it this square. All right, so let's hide this. Fill, yep. And then we could change it to crop. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We kind of want the whole monster there. So I think I like my other idea better, just to include this maybe on the right side. Now we can possibly overlap things, so let's bring this back. No, not that. This group. There we go. All right, we'll bring this to the top. All right, how do I want to handle this? Let's get in here and copy that, and then we'll hide this. Just hide the layer. There we go. All right. So maybe we could do something like this, but we're gonna make, oh, I like this idea. Let's see. We're gonna take this color right here, but we're gonna kind of make it just almost all gray, but a little bit of that color there. That way we can make this white and it'll make it stick out a lot more. All right. All right, let's use the at this point, let's use the blob generator thing that we have. Let's see, where is that at? Okay. This will give us some random shape. I like that one right there. All right, so how do I download this? I just click download. It's an SVG, okay. All right, showing up on the other monitor. Let's do this. Let's duplicate that, and then we'll take this from solid to image, and then can I do SVG in there? No, I can't. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, let's do this then. We'll just drag it on, and then I will make this, let's take that vector, let's ungroup that. Now let's take this right here, maybe we'll put it like right there, and then do that. Okay, so now we can obviously position this, you know, if we need to in some other regard. Now, as far as the color scheme goes, because we're using a photograph, the photograph really helps it can help set the color scheme already. So I have white, we have browns, we have this eyeball color. Like this is pretty good already. Now I think I might want to make this more like a watermark, and maybe something more like this where it's slightly darker. Or we could perhaps rotate it around and kind of push it over here. Yeah, there's all sorts of things we could do. Okay. Now let's get some content for the inside portion. Like, what would this even be? Because we're talking about Cliff Notes and like kind of like I'm thinking of a magnifying glass or something. We can make a magnifying glass real quickly. Actually, let's not do that. Let's rely on tools. We're supposed to iconify. We'll just type in magnify in a second here. Oh, it's already up. Okay. Could do something like that, maybe. Move this up a bit. Maybe this will be like a lead collection form. So we can say, right here, we'll say, beta test our app. No, how about we become a beta tester? Now let's scale that down. We'll try like 30. Okay, so now we'll put in, we'll take this type. We'll use that font for an email, name and email address, I guess. So we'll do name here, and we will do that. All right, let's make this white. Give it slightly rounded corners and then give it a stroke. We can use a black stroke, that's fine. No problem with that. Actually, I might just want to do email address. We don't need your name. All right. I'm still not happy with this. I think that's a little bit better. Oh, and by the way, this, I don't like this. Where's that magnifying glass? Let's What happened there? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's do this instead and make it kind of like a watermark. Something like that. Put it to the very bottom. And then this is a part of the, here, let's get that out of there. There we go. Now we can go ahead and take the selection color and yeah, just do something like that. You know, we could experiment with positioning. I kind of want it off to the side. Ah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. Now going back to the this section, now we can move this stuff over. All right. And then we'll have, let's see. Trying to determine how I want to make and structure this section here. Let's take like a subheading here. We'll make this extra small, like 14. I agree to the terms and conditions. Isn't that funny? Terms and privacy policy. All right. We'll just take both of those real quick. Oops. I keep on pressing my zoom up thing. I don't have it running though. Let's underline that type. Right there. And this type. Now let's take this, let's make it high contrast. We can make it black. I kind of like that. Let's take both of these. All right. Now for the type, let's bring this here, bring it to the front. That's not the front, Gary. It's a wrong bracket key. Damn it. There we go. Sign me up. Take both of those, auto layout them, center. All right. Now I don't like this empty space here. So, you know, we could do this. But that's silly. I think I'm going to keep it over here. We could have a 2-column approach over here, or we could also, let's take I do like how it kind of overlaps a little bit, but maybe not quite as much. Now this blob thingy right here, there you go. This should be a square, by the way. So 24 by maybe 21 by 21. Okay. So in and of itself, this layout we could consider to be just complete. We can also maybe replicate this to come up with a slightly different idea. So if these are, let's just rounded corners here for this. It's 12. All right, so let's make this 12. And we could do something interesting, maybe bringing back that original idea. Where is it at? All right. So let's see here. That's a lot of columns. We don't have to use them all. You know, we could do something like maybe these 4 right here. And then we had a few things down here. So let's hide that. Now, I don't like how these barely match up and don't really meet up well. So we can ignore that portion. All right. And we could have this underneath it. Although, you don't want to just try to create columns and stick to exactly what that template was just for the sake of doing so. You don't want an unnecessarily complex layout. I don't like this empty space. I'm trying to think about what might be relevant to put here. Because otherwise, if not, you know, we can just take it in. Kind of like that. And then maybe one way we could bring those back is if we bring this here. Just copy those, hide them, bring them back. Could use these as like some sort of like just interesting aesthetic with like just color and or photographs that are inside of it. So let's give it a shot with Unsplash. And we don't have to use them all. We can also change up the shapes. So terms of service. Yeah, we could do that. Let's put that one right there. And, you know, we could delete this one. Getting a little bit busy, so, you know, we could maybe push that off. And maybe we can use some, let's see here. Let's make these white. This is actually pretty solid. I know we didn't really stick with that template too much to any degree, but you don't have to. I found something that works for the intended app idea. We used an AI art to generate something that I think is really cool, has style. We didn't really need to use any type of actual color scheme generator because the photograph set the tone for that, and this is a really good color scheme. We could, of course, play around with different ideas, but I think how it looks right now is great. Yeah. So another exciting adventure into just random UI design. If you guys do this, it can become a really good way to just gain practice and push you out of your comfort zone.